So 40 years is a long time in the industry, Kev.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Give us a rundown of how you got into it. What led
me into it?
What led you to ending up with Dan?
Right, there's a story. I left school with one qualification, but I was fortunate that within the family I had a fortnight off school, and then I moved into working on my uncle's wharf. He had a wharf, Barraclaypits Wharf,
okay.
south bank of the Humber.
The right side of the Humber?
The right side of the Humber, mate,
cool.
Yeah. So I started working in the ships, digging out ribs and stuff like that.
So a bit of stevedoring
Stevedoring, mate, yeah, driving the Bobcat. But I had a real nasty cough when I was younger. And my uncle's wharf, my auntie said, oh, I don't want him working outside. I want him to work inside. And this was just when a company called Foster Green, it's not there anymore. We're starting an agency. And that's how I started. Foster Green started, I think, in April financial year. So I don't know, which was a product of my uncle and a gentleman called John Green, my very first boss. Beautiful man, he's still alive now in Barra. He's the one that wants to come and have a look around Immingham at some point, just to see how much it's changed.
Where the big ships are?
Where the big ships are, yeah, because he used to work off the jetties and all sorts. And that's how I started. You know, people say it's not what you know, then it's who you know. And there's a little bit of it's not what you know, it's who you know.
So 16?
16, straight into it, into the stevedoring. Yeah, things have changed now. It's incredible. Well, we've mentioned this in the past. All the technologies now and all that lot. It's crazy how it's changed. And then when Alexandra Dock reopened in Hull, my uncle put 2 sheds and called the Euro Terminal at Hull, which is where an old ABP canteen was. Right. And that was our office. And I was there for, well, it must have been 20 years again. From start of working there, another 20 years, because I've been with Dan now for 20 years. Yeah. A year ago.
So your first job then, I'd discussed this with Steve. First company car, what did you get?
Blue minivan, EFE 616X.
Blue minivan.
It was an old security van off LOR.
Right, yeah.
The
refinery.
Windows. Yeah, the refinery.
So you started with Dan. So you wrote to every agent on the Humber except Dan?
Except for Dan, and then my boss, John Green, said, "Oh, do you want to have a word with Dan Shipping? Go see David Dent and Paul Newby." He said, "I know them," and I just went to see him. As I said, the rest is history. Now I can still. You remember the old? What are them sofas?
Chesterfield.
Yeah, them sofas.
Yeah.
Sat in one of them.
Yeah, in the meeting room.
In the meeting room.
Yeah.
I was absolutely crapping myself because I knew David he had the reputation, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, mate. He was not to be messed with, was he? He was that sort of big character, and.
But David and Paul were fantastic people. You know, because I'd been in the family business for so long, and I'm moving out because the family's slowly falling by.
Yeah.
To come out of it, I was very nervous, but I must admit, Paul put me at ease when I went in for the interview. I say interview, it was a chat. Yeah,
mine was pretty similar, to be fair. It was very much come in, have a chat, but it was David that made me feel at ease. And
was that?
Yeah, and it was David that sold the job to me, to be honest.
It maybe a little bit role reversal for me. That it was Paul that made me feel at ease, because I think it was David firing the questions.
Good cop, bad cop.
It could have been, mate, yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you wouldn't want to get the wrong side of Paul. Paul was But the two fantastic guys, and they really looked after me, because I don't know if you want to talk shit or shit wet.
It's talking absolute shit.
Yeah, well, this isn't so much shit. But it was only about 3 months after that the marriage went peak tongue.
Right.
And David and Paul were fantastic, and they really helped me out to win then.
And that is a thing in the industry, isn't it? It's like a lot of guys, like the old guard, are on the second, third marriages.
Yeah.
You know, I've lost friends because of the industry.
The industry, yeah.
You know, just not knowing what your weekend availability is going to be. You say with all the best will in the world that you'll make an engagement party or something like that. And then, you know, the tides are such that you've got a ship to see and you can be 20, 30 minutes on board a vessel, or you can be a good couple of hours, can't you?
It does. It rocks that way, doesn't it? And if you're not in the industry, you can't explain to somebody, I can't make it, my ship's delayed. Well, why? What do you have to do?
If I can make it, I'll make it, but count on me not being there was my line with it all. I'll try and get there, but work on me not coming.
Yeah.
Because you do prioritise work a lot of the time, rightly or wrongly. You know, my priorities was work, football, kids, and the wife.
Yeah.
And I reached burnout. Like, I was at the point where I really did get ill with my Crohn's.
The Crohn's and stuff.
Yeah, it really hit me. I was just burnt out. You think there was just me and Huddy, God rest his soul.
Lovely bloke.
That was looking after Immingham. And when the coal was coming in thick and fast, you know how.
Oh, God, yeah.
Immingham was flat out, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And Hull was.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not just saying.
No,
Put the big ship, small ship aside. Big ships are all. You know, when the coal was coming in thick and fast for other power stations.
Yeah.
You know, I prioritised, and looking back now, like, wrongly, obviously. And it was just, to get ill to that point, to reprioritise.
Yeah.
So now it is wife and kids at the top of the list.
Exactly, and with the good group now, they're on board with that now. They can see that it's a lot different, like you said, when you started and when I started. And now, getting that break, getting that time off, and like you, I was the same. You know, it's Fred's christening. You always I can go. The amount of christenings that you miss, weddings, funerals, and etc.
Bar mitzvahs. You know.
But nowadays it's not so bad because
the outlook has changed, I think, and the leadership at the top now has opened their eyes to what we do and how demanding it can be. And not, when I say us, it's a wider team. You know, everyone puts the graft in, and you know, there's not one member of the team that don't give their all to what we do.
No, it's true enough.
From Steve right down to the apprentice in admin, you know, they give everything they've got, you know, and we can't ask for any more than that.
We've got a good team now. I really believe that.
We've struggled at times to recruit the right people.
But you do though. You don't know. You can talk till you're blue in the face. Right, you're going to be working silly hours. You're working
2 o'clock in the morning. Sideways rain. All that malarkey.
And it comes to it. Oh, it's still in bed. The amount of times that you and I have probably been up and.
And you know, when you get the wrong person in a role, it makes our job a lot harder.
It does, It makes it twice as hard. Yeah.
You know, so we are quite lucky that we're in the position that we are, where we do have a great team.
You've got beautiful eyes. You have, mate.
I know. That's why I'm looking at you in the eye. You know, turned on, are we?
Sorry, mate. A little bit, mate.
Yeah, now we'll need to go to Phil and ask where we are on the script.
Okay. Phil's got his head in your eyes.
Oh, we're keeping that bit in.